Afternoon, and welcome to episode 30 of Swiss Army Sports. Today is December 15th in the Big 25. I'm your host, Will Spain, former long snapper for the Troy Trojans, Osprey Governors, partially Houston Cougars, joined by my side, former offensive lineman for the Hendrick Charge Warriors, Luke Wallman, man of electricity, and joined virtually is the former kicker for the Houston Christian Huskies and Troy Trojans, current nephew of Troy men's basketball coach Scott Cross, Chase Cross, joining us from Houston, Texas. Today is a somewhat of a recap of college football from this past weekend, definitely covering all the NFL. We got our Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies. We give our bowl pick'ems until, in the time period until we record our next episode on Wednesday. We have Monday Night Football preview and best bets. That'll kick off in roughly an hour and a half. College basketball picks recap with our Swiss Army Sports College Basketball Top 25. Looking at the NHL scores from this weekend, as long as some big trades and the best of the weekend segment. So let's just get right into it. Michael, the producer, couldn't bother to join us today, but he did win the pick'ems. He had Navy, who won by one. Chase as well had Navy.
With a total of 33 points.
With a total of 33 points. So Luke nailed it on the head. If they had both picked Navy, he would have gotten it. Yeah. But go ahead.
Army should have won that football game. They fumbled that game away so hard. God, frustrating.
I did not catch much of it. So it was 17-16. Don't know it got to be 17-16. But looks like it was just a good old. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, that's good because I started it on the other computer. I mean, this is just unbelievable how this episode's going to go today.
It happened again.
So, let's see how I can do this. Go to your. All right. Slideshow. Here. Yep. All right. So this is just how we're going to do it right now, because I'm having that go on. If you can't see my computer, I'll just flip it around for the crowd. It's got different colors popping up on it currently, which is extra unfortunate because I can't hear Chase. So
is he talking?
I don't know. I because my headphones.
Can you hear me?
To her computer. Yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of. We're gonna kind of try to just get this done. As is, and see if this will come back on. So that does it for the Army Navy game. Let's move on to our players of the week, dogs of the week. I will start, then Luke, then Chase. My dog of the week is Daniel, and I only got to see that the last name is Subkowitz. He's the wide receiver for Illinois State. Now, if you don't know anything about FCS football, Illinois State last week went in and beat North Dakota State, a huge upset on the road in the FCS playoffs. Went back on the road, traveled across the country to Cal Davis this week. Ended up winning that game. 6 receptions, 2 touchdowns. I believe it was 150 yards. Unbelievable game for Daniel and Illinois State as they advance now to the Final Four of the FCS, and they played Villanova, who got a big upset win over Tarleton State.
Great game too. I watched that.
Yeah, unbelievable game between Nova and Tarleton State. The Northeast schools showed out this year. I mean, Yale gave Montana State a hell of a game as well. Luke, I gotta know who your dog of the week is because I'm completely baffled. I have no idea the logo or who this guy is.
So we're gonna give a little shout out to D3 football, as I was once, for about 2 weeks before I got hurt, or a week before I got hurt, a D3 athlete. I'm going to go with Caleb Balaha for UW River Falls. They ended up beating Wheaton College this weekend, 46-21 to advance. They played John Hopkins in the quarters, and he was 32 of 50 for 407 yards and 4 touchdowns. That is elite numbers right there. He had a long of 71. Absolutely dominated this game. And also, guess what the temperature was this week?
I have no idea. What was
it? Was 0 degrees outside.
Jesus.
And they threw, him and the other quarterback each threw for 300 plus.
Okay. Yeah,
so
dude, ball out. Yeah, absolutely.
Screw the weather.
Chase, who's your dog of the week?
Well, I'm surprised neither one of y'all went to the Army-Navy game, but I kind of called him last week that he was gonna have a big game, Blake Horvath for Navy to win, and he went out and threw for 82 yards, which isn't that impressive. But what's crazy is carried the ball 34 times for 107 yards, two total touchdowns, one pick, but came up big on a fourth down play to basically win the game for Navy. So my dog of the week is going to be Blake Horvath.
Yeah, no, he played great this weekend.
Yeah, Blake did ball out this weekend, led Navy to a huge rivalry game win, ending their season on a high note. Really a good season for Navy that was led by Blake Horvath the entire way through. Good to see him ended on a good final note, beating their rivals in Army. Let's move on now to the bowl picks. Now, if you see on YouTube, Luke and Chase have NP. That means no pick. All right.
I want to clarify some things here because I go to the score app and I'm looking like at the games to see what time they start. I just scroll down. It only shows the Washington game. So I'm like, oh, it starts at 7 o'clock. I'm gonna watch this episode of Stranger Things and then I'm gonna do it. Then I like
You're almost at 11 a.m. on Saturday at
Yeah,
the Celebration Bowl. Yeah.
yeah, I got absolutely screwed because I go to Will's story and I see he reposted something of ebook and I'm like, crap. So kind of got honed there.
Yeah, and Chase, I'll allow him to give his own explanation as to why we possibly, when something was sent out a week prior, could not fill it out on time.
Mean, I was in the midst of finals, so the night before I had probably my biggest final of last week. Completely forgot about the bull pick'em and only realized that I needed to do them at 11:02 when my mom comes in. She's like, "Oh, are you going to send out the bull picks to our family this year?" And I was like, "Oh crap, forgot to do the pods too." So not only did I let my family down this year, I let y'all down. Just disappointing. I just let the moment, I guess, was just a little too big for me. So
Lights were too bright.
Yeah, lights were too bright. Well, me and Michael got the pick right. We took South Carolina State.
Yeah, they were up
And we're down
big, too.
21-0. Came back, won this in overtime. Shout out Elliot Yanish, aka E Boogie. Some crucial punts in this game that really just flipped the field. It got South Carolina State in position to win against Prairie View A&M. He is an HBCU Black national champion, even though he is white as all get out. But yeah, shout out E-Bug, shout out South Carolina State, getting me started 1-0. And then we were all Washington across the board in the LA Bowl against Boise State as they absolutely throttled the Broncos. It looks like Boise State had absolutely no business being out there. Thank the Lord that the situation did not occur to where Boise State could have possibly gotten into playoffs. I feel like that would,
God.
that just,
was so
would have been a
bad.
bad look for us G5 schools. We were all Washington across the board. I'm going to let, did you watch this game?
I caught like a few drives of it, but I just do want to say Jeff Fisher wants to coach at Michigan.
Yeah, he wants to get out of Seattle, that's for sure. Chase,
Yeah.
did you catch this game?
I caught the first half and it just got really ugly. I mean, Boise couldn't get anything going offensively, and I mean Washington just kind of showed that they had the better athletes, and it was a domination from the start of the game, so it wasn't even close.
Yeah, no, I can't believe they won by that much.
Yeah,
So,
no, the margin definitely was not anticipated, although I did think Washington was going to get it done. Impressive that they were able to put, their foot on Boise State's throat. Tuesday on the 16th at a just egregious 8 p.m. kick, we have the Troy Trojans playing against the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. In the Salute to Veterans Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama, we are TROY across the board. I am totally homing on my pick. I'll let me talk, then Luke, then Chase. I'm totally homing. However, I don't think Jacksonville State is, anything sort of special, and I think the Trojans have been rolling as of late. Got to make sure the offensive line issues get figured out in this game. I know we're a little bit banged up, having to rotate some backups in, but if the offensive line can be solidified, I think Tucker and if Goose is able to play, then Goose, they can lead this team to a very solid end to Jared Parker's second tenure at the Troy University and get a big win over rival Jacksonville State. Whoop Jack State. Can't stand those MFers. So rolling with the Trojans. Luke, why are you going with Troy?
definitely homing. I just am gonna pick Troy. I've been to Troy. Troy's a great town. The porch, but that's why I'm picking Troy.
Fair enough. Chase, why are you going?
Well,
with Troy?
first off, that's a great callback to the porch right there. Some good times there, obviously. You know, I think Jack State is a very quality football team, and I do think they're going to make it tough on Troy. But this is a rivalry that kind of predates our time at Troy. Will I mean, all the old heads back in the day. This used to be the matchup, Troy's biggest rivalry before South Alabama was around. So I do think there's going to be a lot of juice, and I think Troy has been able to play with absolutely everybody on their schedule this year, whether it be Clemson, James Madison, or even some lower teams that they probably should have blown out or beaten more handedly. They play to the level of competition. I think we can kind of say, after watching them this whole season, they kind of play to the level. I don't think that changes whether it's Tucker, Goose, or whatever, but I think that they get it done. I think the boys get it done, and um, you know, I think Troy's a little bit better on defense than Jack State, and they'll end up getting the win.
Yeah, I hope Troy wins.
Yeah,
great season.
Yeah, it's been a great season for the Trojans. Wednesday, December 17th, we got our final two bowl games before we record again. The Cure Bowl down in Orlando is played between Old Dominion, the Monarchs, who are quarterbackless. They are playing against South Florida, who is coachless
and quarterbackless.
So I think, honestly, the difference between this is I trust South Florida's defense just, way more than I trust anything Old Dominion's got. So I just decided to ride with the Bulls, kind of a, home-ish game. And you want to end this season on a high note if you're South Florida. I mean, I'm sure Old Dominion does too. But really like USF, take care of business into the Cure Bowl. Luke, then Chase.
I went with Old Dominion.
Yeah, I saw that.
Strictly because both teams don't have a quarterback, so it cancels out. And USF don't have a coach yet. So this is going to be one of those weird games. There's a bunch of games
hey,
like
Brian Hartline's going to be watching, brother.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of games like this where quarterbacks are out, receiver, like all these guys are out. This is a coin flip, in my opinion. You don't know what you're going to get out of both of these backup quarterbacks, so I'm going to go with Old Dominion.
Fair enough. Chase, who do you like?
Complete coin flip game. I wanted to go with Old Dominion just because of the nature of what's been going on, and I know you had mentioned that on your visit they had a really good backup quarterback. But I'm going to go with South Florida. They had a great season. Obviously, they still don't have a head coach, but I still like the Bulls. They're not going to want to lose to ODU in their last game, and they're going to want to get to 10 wins. So I think I got South Florida here.
All right. And then finally, we have another Alabama Bowl game. The 68 Ventures Bowl played in South Alabama Stadium in Mobile between the Louisiana Raging Cajuns and the Delaware Blue Hens. I'm going with Delaware. 2 words, why? And I want to make sure I don't botch the quarterback's name.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, because Nick Minicucci, has been really a bright spot for Delaware this year, throwing for 3,500 yards and 22 touchdowns. Yeah, he has 7 interceptions. Got to avoid the sacks, though. Had 25 on the year. Yikes. But I just don't think Louisiana, 1, has much to offer. Barely beat UL Monroe in their final game of the year. And 2, I think Delaware, just being their first year in the FBS, is going to be way more fired up to play this game than Louisiana is. So despite, more travel for the Blue Hens, I like them to take care of business and get the job done in Mobile over Louisiana. Luke, you like the Hens as well?
It's the exact same reason. I think this is a huge milestone for this program. It's your first season in the FBS, and you're going bowling. I mean, that never really happens like across any sports to go to any sort of postseason, and I think that's a huge accomplishment. And they're going to try and cement themselves as a Coosa powerhouse by winning this bowl game.
100%. Chase, you're on the other side. You went with the belt.
Well, I got to watch Delaware play earlier on the season against Colorado, and I've seen them a couple times this year and haven't been overly impressed. I know the quarterback is good, but I think Louisiana, yes, they did barely slip into this bowl season, barely beat Monroe, but the Sun Belt's a lot higher level than what Conference USA is this year. I think Louisiana just has a little bit better recruits, and on that roster, they're going to probably test out some young guys, and I think that they'll get it done. Louisiana has typically been a pretty strong player in the Sun Belt, and so I think they'll get this win here.
Fair enough. Moving on now into Oh, there's our leaderboard. Michael and me sit at the top of 2-0. Now they don't get penalized in ESPN's bold pick'ems for not picking the game, which I think,
Seriously?
yeah, I mean, you don't get a loss, you just don't get the win. So they're 1-0.
How's it calculated?
Yeah,
Is
well,
it win percentage?
It's going to be, I believe, win percentage. So,
Doesn't that kind of help?
I mean, yes, but no. I mean, we already have just one more win already. So,
That's
but
fair.
yeah, I mean, you technically just don't get penalized, which I think is
No, that
absolutely
is-
horse crap.
that
But
is-
yeah, now moving on. Yeah, good for y'all. We are going to the Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies. Now, this has you now not just series. It can be the individual movie, like Home Alone 1 or 2 or 3 or etc. We are going to do this as we always do, and Luke's going to have to help me out here as we're having technical difficulties of what in the world Chase is telling me. So, let me pull up our Mount Rushmore board. Christmas movies. Per usual, Luke start us off, Chase second, then I will pick a number 1 through 10.
7.
7. Chase, hold up a number on the screen so I can see it. 3. Yeah, okay, figured. Well, 8. Siri, pick a number between 1 and 10. 7.
5.
Luke will kick us off. I'll go second, and Chase will go third. Luke, what is your 1-1 of Christmas movies?
Christmas Vacation is
Christmas Vacation.
an amazing movie. It is my favorite Christmas movie. You have so many good one-liners with the shitter's full Clark. You have the house. You got Russ. I mean, that movie is just golden, and we watch it every year, and it is absolutely amazing. So give me Christmas Vacation with the 1-1.
Christmas Vacation with the 1-1. With the second pick, I'm going to just go old school Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stop motion film. I like the stop motion ones. It just brings me back to my childhood. So I think you had to go with the classic here, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Chase, 2 in a row.
I'm gonna go with Christmas Story, which is another classic. I love this movie. Ralphie is an
Christmas
iconic
Story.
character. It's a great movie. We watch it every year on Christmas Eve, so it's just really good memories there. And then my second one that I'm gonna go with, It's a Wonderful Life. That's just a really wholesome movie. Um, Probably one of the best messages from any movie any time of year, but it's a great movie. Always puts the season in a good perspective. So I love that one.
Yeah, so I personally have never seen It's a Wonderful Life, so I can't have any comment on that movie. I know it's a classic, and I know it's like one that you're supposed to see. Also, like Miracle on what is it,
34.
34th Street? You haven't seen that either.
I haven't seen that.
So my second pick is gonna be my favorite modern Christmas movie, Elf. I love Elf. I think Will Ferrell does a good job in that movie, and we've got some pretty iconic moments. And Dancing with the Stars should have been winner this year. Andy Richter's in the movie, so I'm gonna go with Elf with my 2. Luke, second and third pick for you.
I think I'm going to hit this thing out of the park. I've got Home Alone, which is, I think, just the classic Christmas movie.
You want to hear my unpopular opinion on Home Alone?
You don't like
I
it?
don't like it.
Oh, I love Home Alone.
Completely
I-
agree. Will that
I'm sure I'm
that's
getting berated by Chase. What?
Crazy.
yeah, it's so
Let's go,
overrated.
Chase. Come on now. It's just
So
an overrated
overrated.
Christmas movie.
No, we watched that. I watched that every year with my grandmother and like all my brothers and cousins. I love that movie. I could watch that over and over again because you know what? I feel the same about Elf. We watch Elf way too much. I think
I agree with
Elf
that
is
too.
good.
Elf's overplayed
Yes,
at
it's
this
way
point.
overplayed. It is so aggravating. But
It
anyways,
is overplayed. I'm one to admit on that.
yeah.
All right, next pick.
Polar Express.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I love Polar Express. You're in your pajamas, you're in your third grade classroom, you got your popcorn, you're sitting on the floor, you're watching Polar Express at school, like one of the last days before you leave. And then just in general, Tom Hanks is awesome. I mean, that movie is just peak life. So give me Polar Express.
Frosty the Snowman's gonna be my third pick. Again, classic stop motion film. Nothing more classic than putting the old stove hat on Frosty, brings him to life. Buddy creates absolute terror across the entire town. Frosty the Snowman, third pick. Chase, your third and fourth.
Man, you're farming all the nostalgia picks. I'm gonna go. I don't know how it's fallen this far. The Grinch, another iconic Christmas movie. Jim Carrey is, awesome in this one, and I do think this one slightly does get overrated. But for the sake of this list, I gotta put it on here.
The Grinch. Sorry.
And then for my last pick, I'm gonna go with one that you guys may not consider a Christmas movie, but personally, it's my favorite Christmas time movie. The movie takes place at Christmas time. It's very, I mean, the only thing about it that's not Christmas is the title. I'm gonna go with Daddy's Home 2. It's a hilarious, one of the funniest Christmas movies I've ever seen outside of Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got Will Ferrell,
Sure.
Mark Wahlberg, everybody.
like saying
It's
Daddy's
hilarious.
Christmas
So
movie, so I
if you hadn't
respect
seen
it.
that, I'll go check it out.
Oh, Daddy's Home is both those movies are
So
just awesome.
I need a specification on the Grinch.
Daddy's Home 2.
Oh wait, which Grinch with
Jim Carrey, cartoon,
Oh, the Jim Carrey
or brand
Grinch,
new?
yeah.
Jim Carrey, sorry.
Jim Carrey. Okay.
Oh, the technical difficulties are just amazing today.
I mean, this thing hasn't stopped changing colors for a very long time.
Can confirm.
Yeah, my final pick is going to be it's one of those movies that not a lot of people like that I do like, and so I'm just gonna take it. I like the Santa Claus with I don't even know what his name is.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, yeah. I like the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, and I think it's actually a pretty good trilogy of Christmas movies. They also overplay this a lot on Freeform, which it used to be ABC Family, but ever since they changed the name, they only play the same few movies over and over again. Which means I've also seen the Santa Claus probably like 50 times. So I'm a big fan of the Santa Claus. That's gonna be my final pick. Luke, what's your final pick?
A Charlie Brown Christmas. You were taking all like the really retro stuff, but you can't go wrong with Charlie Brown and Snoopy and the gang. I mean, it is a great movie. Again, a childhood classic that you watch at school, and it just brings all the nostalgia out, and it's amazing.
Yes, sir. That's a solid pick.
We left a lot of good ones off.
We did leave a lot of good ones off, but I think part of that is what your opinion.
No, 100%.
That's true.
It's definitely an
100%.
opinionated.
All right, are we moving on? Are you trying to get lapped up for it?
Yeah, man, we're trying. Yeah, we're moving on. Week 15 for the NFL. Thursday night football, bit of a surprise. The Buccaneers dropped yet another game to the Atlanta Falcons.
Kyle Pitts, man.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts absolutely went off. He was on someone's bench.
It wouldn't have even. Don't get
Truly,
it wouldn't have even mattered. It wouldn't have even mattered. Sorry,
it would not have even mattered. Correct. But would have made it definitely respectable. I'll let him interject himself after I, tell him this. The Browns absolutely get throttled by the Bears. Shedeur Sanders literally at one point, I think in the fourth quarter, had 6 completions. Now, I mean, yeah, I get it. Some of those were really pretty deep balls, but the dude is just like, okay, I'm taking a home run shot, or it's going to be an incomplete or an interception. Granted, yeah, Chicago's a damn good team, and Cleveland just is not. Yeah. But, yeah, it was not perfect timing in Chicago this weekend, as Chase anticipated. Chase, you even said in our group chat your evaluation of Shedeur Sanders, so please let the podcast know as well.
Well, I think my evaluation kind of overreacted. I've watched a lot of the clips back in the tape, and I think only one out of his 3 picks was really atrocious. The one through Jerry Jeudy's hands, I mean, that was absolutely egregious. One of the worst plays I think I've seen a good wide receiver make. Even somebody in college is probably making that catch. So, and then the first interception he threw was just a phenomenal play by the linebacker. So really the way I look at it, he's young, he's still learning, and this Bears defense is legit, which I had not been completely sold on Chicago, but man, Chicago is a good football team. But then also more on the Browns front, apparently Kevin Stefanski gave Shedeur the wrong wristband for the first 5 drives of the game, or 4 drives.
I saw that. Is
I
that
mean,
confirmed?
it's the most Browns thing to do ever, but at some point it's coaching malpractice. They got to get it right, because you've got 2 young quarterbacks in the building. You've got Deshaun Watson. You've got enough pieces to have a good quarterback there, and they have enough pieces. The rookie class they have is really freaking good.
Especially, it's amazing.
So I mean, they got to figure it out. If it's the coach, if it's the general manager, what it is, they've got to figure it out soon. But hey, Chicago looked great. Caleb Williams played good again. This Bears team is legit.
No, and that they are.
Yeah, 100%. The Ravens took care of business on the road against the Bengals. The producer, the only one correctly predicting this one. This was just a dominant win for Baltimore.
I can't believe
yeah,
that happened.
I know.
Like, that honestly
the
shocked.
Bengals showed no life in this game.
Yeah.
It was pretty disappointing from Cincinnati perspective. Another game that was just absolutely shocking, in my opinion, is this noon game between the Chargers and the Chiefs. So the Chargers just were able to get enough done, and Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL late in the game, essentially ending the Chiefs. Well, the season, Chiefs season is over. They're going to miss the playoffs for the first time since like 2015, which is awesome in my opinion. I hate Kansas City, and Mahomes played horribly and lost me in my fantasy matchup, so I hate him also as well. So you never want to ish will on anybody, but hey, karma, right?
That Charger defense I think is actually pretty good.
No, it's a damn good defense.
That guy should not have gotten tossed. Like, that was awful. He is making a good hit. I mean, maybe you can flag him for a personal foul, but like, you do not toss him. And I love Rashid Rice getting karma from causing a 3-car accident or whatever it was, and in like back-to-back weeks, he has gotten absolutely hit by a truck. It is amazing.
Yeah, he has. The Bills able to come back and get a win against the Pats. Chase, you had the Bills in this one. What did you think of the game?
I honestly thought what I kind of told y'all. I love the Patriots and I love Drake May. I don't know if y'all saw on that Travion Henderson touchdown him throwing that block 80 yards down the field. I have not seen a quarterback do that. I don't think in the last 5-10 years. I mean, this dude's a dog. But I think the Bills are a good football team, and it's hard to beat a team twice. And I mean, they showed up at the end. It was a really good football game, probably the best one on the slate. But, Josh Allen and the Bills get it done, and they continue to roll. And I don't know if they come back and take that division, but they should wrap up that, that 5th place wild card spot here.
Yeah, and Drake May, to your point, I think threw like 3 or 4 blocks. I saw him blocking on multiple plays that got reversed. So, I mean, you usually, like you said, don't see that out of a quarterback. So
no, he's definitely got a dog hit him. One that his wife, I'm sure, nourishes very well. Absolutely. Happy Bakemas for Drake May. Daddy
I wonder what
May.
that post game meal was
like. The commies were able to pretty much throttle the Giants. The Eagles really hammered the Raiders, and it was a get-right game for the Eagles. Now, I no longer care because of what happened on Sunday night, but the Jaguars took care of business against the Jets, Texans.
I want to say something. We don't curse a lot on this, but fuck Trevor Lawrence.
If you played against Trevor Lawrence in fantasy this week, as is the man on my right, you're not a big fan of Trevor Lawrence. The Texans able to get it done in a very high-scoring game against the Cardinals, where Trey McBride decided to run the entire offense for the Arizona Cardinals. Didn't see that one coming. Effectively into my fantasy season there. The Broncos beat the Packers, which I mean, me and Luke, we were all over this, dude. Wasn't bought in on Green Bay yet, and the Broncos able to get the job done at home and take care of Toyota Thon, Jordan Love.
Yeah. I do want to say something on this game, though. The Packers had an absolutely atrocious injury luck, losing Christian Watson and Micah Parsons when they were still up in this game. So I actually thought the Packers looked pretty good. But, injuries like that kind of derails a game, and Bo Nix played his butt off.
Oh, Bo Nix played great this weekend. I know Will loves that.
Hey, Bo Nix. So me and Bo Nix, I don't know why there's just this unnecessary beef between me and Bo Nix, but not a big Bo Nix guy. Maybe it's because he left Auburn for Oregon, and maybe it's because he played for the Broncos and Michael and Luke loved him so much. I don't know. Fuck Bo Nix. But the Rams took care of business against the Lions. Lions starting to come in trouble in the wild card picture for sure. Saints.
Wow. This
sweep the Panthers.
I want to speak on this.
The NFC South is drunk.
Yes,
ACC level drunk.
Like you're the Panthers. You watch the Bucs lose on Thursday night. You're like, oh my gosh, we're about to win this division. We're gonna win against the Saints. Well, you should have won against the Saints, and you should have been number 1 in the division. And Tyler Shuck's looking like an absolute awesome quarterback and an awesome pick that's fitting into this Kellen Moore system. I cannot believe they won, though. You got any thoughts, Chase?
Yeah, I mean, I just gonna piggyback off you. This is why I picked the Saints this week, honestly, because nobody wants to win the NFC South.
Yeah.
It's like I forget the year. What was the year when they were all 7-9 and a
Oh,
7-9? What year was that?
Panthers played
26?
the Seahawks. Yeah,
Was
hold
that
on.
2017 or was that
Keep talking. I'll fact check.
2015? Fact check me. But anyways, that's what it kind of reminded me of. Well, he'll come up with the number, but I mean, nobody wants to win the division this year. I mean, the Bucks absolutely choked against the Falcons. Shout out Bijan Robinson, though. We support you still.
Yeah, sorry to cut
And
you off. It was 2014. The Carolina Panthers
2014,
went
okay,
7,
okay.
8-1. Won in the
7 and
wild
1,
card,
yeah.
lost in the divisional.
Well, I mean, that's what it kind of feels like this year, man. I mean, the Panthers don't want it. The Saints and Falcons are a little too far out to go get it. The Bucks don't want it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Both the Bucks and the Panthers have both beat good teams and lost to terrible teams. So I really don't know. Tyler Shugg, though, to be quite honest, I mean, outside of maybe Jackson Dart, can we say Tyler Shugg's played the best out of all the rookies? I mean,
I
he's
think offensive rookies, you could probably make a case for that, but
yeah. I was just talking about at the
defensively.
quarterback position.
Oh yeah, definitely at the quarterback because he's definitely better than Shador.
Yeah,
Who's the other rookie?
Cam
quarterback?
Ward. I mean, actually, I would probably
And
put Shador over Cam Ward. Cam Ward struggled this year, but I think that's more
yeah,
of a product of the
He
situation.
could definitely be
and then
yeah, I mean, that's not crazy to say Shao could have a chance at offensive rookie of the year. I mean,
yeah, I just
I
don't
think
think
it's
he
going to
played
Dart.
enough.
maybe not.
It's I don't know. Because like I thought you would have thought one of the receivers would have stood out, but it probably will go to Dart. But then again, has he played enough?
Yeah, I mean, has he played well enough either? Is the thing.
He has played well.
Sure. They're still. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have the same record as the Saints. So, I mean,
They
it's
definitely do.
yeah, it's like kind of all all comparative. It's anyways. The Niners took care of business against the Titans. I almost hit this just hail mary of a pick. I said, man, something magical's in the air with Phillip Rivers, being on that team. They almost beat the Seahawks. Seahawks win by 1. They traded field goals and back to back to back to back. And
I went pee after the Colts hit that field goal towards the end of the game with like 30 seconds left. I came back. Seattle was kicking the game winner.
yeah, they just traded field goals at the end of the game, which, I mean, it can happen with that new kickoff rule.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude, Phillip Rivers I love Phillip Rivers. Dude looks so unathletic on a few of those
I mean,
plays.
he's like 300
he's
pounds though. I
44,
mean,
massively overweight. So I mean,
he's
that's
300
gonna be a
pounds, and
problem.
he came out there and
oh
he
my
actually
God.
played solid. You got to give him props. He played
My
solid.
computer turned on. And then the Cowboys lost on Sunday night to the Vikings. I just don't really feel like talking about it. If Chase wants to
I have
say
something I want to
yeah.
say.
All right, Chase will.
I'm just gonna say it right now. We got to fire Matt Eberflus right now. I'm not
Amen.
watching another season of that. I mean, come on. I understand that there was some plays obviously left out there on offense, but we blew an absolute we had that game put away. Couldn't finish drives, which was fine. I mean, there was some questionable play calls, but I think Shoddy's done a good job overall this year. But the defense is porous. Made JJ McCarthy, who's been horrendous this year, look like an all-pro quarterback. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. And Kenneth Murray, man, I don't know if y'all have seen any of his tape. Have you seen his tape? Oh my gosh, bro! You got to investigate this dude. He's probably taking the money line of the other team or something because I mean, there was one play it was I think it was one of the goal line plays when they scored towards the end of the game, and he was supposed to fill his A gap. He runs around the outside of the line, and they just run straight up the middle where he should have filled. It makes no sense to me. He's been graded the last 2 seasons as the second lowest and the lowest graded linebacker in the NFL. We can't have him starting there at linebacker, and we got to fix the secondary quick.
Yeah, secondary is obviously an issue.
I want to point off on the Murray thing. Dude, he'll make a great play. and then he'll just literally look like he does not know what he's doing out there because he made a goal line stop with Overshone, or I think it was early in the game, and then he jumped over 3 gaps where he's got to fill the A gap, like you said, and he just jumps over 3 gaps for no reason. And oh my god,
Please has to go.
yeah, shout out Diggs also for practicing all week and then not playing. Like, what the hell is that? Your season is essentially on the line every game down the stretch, and you're not going to tough it out.
Yeah, I have a problem with Trayvon Diggs as well. We have to move on from Matt Eberflus. It was a valiant effort.
Because I love shot, like Chase said. I love
Shoddy. Shoddy's not an issue.
Yeah. I mean, and you can't expect your kicker, like, obviously does need to hit those, but you can't expect him to nail 50-yarders every single time. You've got to be able to put it in the better range in order just to go score.
Yeah, 100%. God, I just.
You want me to keep moving?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, a lot of pain as a Cowboys fan. NFL teams of the week and teams of the week. My of the week are the Baltimore Ravens. That was a massive win for Baltimore in this very uninspiring but tight AFC North race, absolutely throttling the Bengals on every side of the ball. Cincinnati just looks like they're done, and they are. And I think Cincinnati may have to think about moving on from Joe Burrow. I'm going to put that out there. I think you may have to just tear it all the way down and rebuild. I mean, Joe Burrow can't stay healthy. This is we've kind of sang the same song for the Bengals for the past 4 or 5 years. Yeah. Granted, they made the playoff, I'm pretty sure, once?
Yeah, they went to the Super Bowl, and that saved Zach Taylor's job.
Yeah.
He's been there ever since.
So, I mean, it's time for a complete rebuild in Cincinnati. My night of your week is obviously the Dallas Cowboys. Offensively, they played well enough to win this game. Brandon Aubrey needs to make his kicks, first off. 51 yards is inexcusable. Can't miss that. 59, I get it. But 51 is inexcusable, especially for the level of kicker he is. And then our secondary is just – it's like watching Swiss cheese out there. I mean, there's just holes everywhere. You can just pick it apart and you rip it to shreds. I mean, we need to completely rebuild the secondary as well as get rid of Matt Eberflus. And my night of your week wholeheartedly goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Luke, of the week and night of your week.
So my team of the week is the Broncos. I mean, you beat a 9-3 Packers team, and you just keep on winning football games. Had a gutsy performance. Bo Nix played well. The defense played really good. Or I'd say the defense played well, didn't play really good. But they found a way to win that football game. And Broncos are hot. So, and then your week, they make another return. The Panthers. How do you lose? Like, that is your game to win, to go up in that division, and you just blow that game to the Saints. There's no reason they should have lost that game. So that is why the Panthers are my week.
100%. Bad luck for Carolina. Chase. Team of the week and now your week.
Well, my team of the week, I mean, I think you have to point to the Rams. They continue to win big games, and Detroit is kind of a dangerous team, especially coming off that emotional win against the Cowboys. Like, they had a lot of juice. I mean, I don't know if you saw some of these celebrations coming out of the locker room. Vibes were high. They looked like they were going to be in a real good spot to secure a wild card, after that win against the Cowboys on Thursday night, and LA just dominated them, and the Rams are legit. They continue to impress me. That offense is insane, and they actually have a pretty good defense too. So very impressed with the Rams. And then I was going to go with the Buccaneers here, but you can't overlook a 31-0 domination by the Eagles, who I don't even rate that highly. But you got 59 yards of offense for the whole game. Like, what are we doing? This is a Pete Carroll offense, by the way. 59 total yards. I mean, that's ridiculous. And I mean, if I'm the Raiders, you're just tanking for the number 1 pick now, because that's just bad. But
yeah, it's a bad situation.
It's a bad situation. That was a bad result. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders this week.
I will give the Raiders this little bit of credit. Their defense, like in the beginning, played okay for how much they were out there. They made a few stops.
The defense isn't bad. That offense, 59 yards though.
I know.
I mean, that's terrible.
30 of them.
Yeah, it's just a bad showing for Vegas. Yeah. I have a feeling Pete Carroll may be done after this year. Best bets for this upcoming Monday Night Football game here in 20 minutes. I like the Dolphins on the money line. I know there's some weird stat Luke's about to throw at me about this that I had no idea going into this. but screw Pittsburgh, taking the Dolphins on the money line. Also, Dolphins are undefeated ever since Tua Tagovailoa said he wanted to play a game in Israel. So we're riding with that trend. Dolphins money line. HM first touchdown, plus 450. I think they are going to get an explosive play out of the backfield with Devon Achane, and they are going to score first, strike first against this mid-Steelers team, and he will be hitting at a plus 450 on your slip. Luke, what are your best bets?
See, I want to comment on your A-Chain thing. I saw something they can get him a first quarter touchdown because if they're going to score, you would think at plus 500.
Ooh, okay.
So,
there you go. Boost it a little bit.
Yeah, a little boost. I'm going to go with the Steelers -3. Two stats I'm going to throw at you. Where's my tab? Oh, the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers lost a home Monday Night Football game was in 1991. They are on a 22-game win streak, which is insane. And then I'm going to read you Tua's records in temperature. He's 0-5 versus in temperatures below 40 degrees. It is 20 degrees there. So those are my two things for that. I think the Steelers can win, and generally if you win by 3. So, and then I'm going to go with Kenneth Gainwell, anytime touchdown. For some reason, he's the goal line back now. So, yeah, I mean, I'm here for it. I think he'll score. So,
Chase, doubling down on the fish.
Well, I just think this is good value here at both picks. I think the Dolphins are 100% capable of covering the spread, especially since Tua has proclaimed his love for Israel. You know how those guys get behind the scenes. So, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins made the playoffs. But, no, I think this is good value on the money line, too, even though I think this game's really a toss-up. I think either team could win. Especially with the temperature. Tua plays atrocious in temperature, so I can see it going anyway. But I think it's good value for the like if you just want to throw $10 at Dolphins money line, may win a couple bucks. So that's what I'm going with here this week.
Fair enough. This podcast has no hate for any religion or race, and we are very big supporters of Israel. Just want to put that out on the airwaves.
Yes,
picks of the week
100%.
for college basketball. Iowa State, Iowa. We all were on Iowa. Close game though.
Yeah, very close.
1-4. I think Iowa State's so legit, but I think Iowa's got a solid team there in Iowa City. Texas also kept it close against UConn. UConn did not cover that game, which
also
I think
very shocking in my opinion.
Yes, it is. Whether that says more about Texas or UConn, I don't know. But
we're skipping this next game, by the way. We're not talking.
The Louisville Cardinals absolutely bent Memphis over, tore their pants off, spit on it, slapped it, and went to town on the Tigers of Memphis. And this game was over 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
I mean, Memphis had no business being on the same court as Louisville.
Yeah. Memphis doesn't understand the concept of hand down man now. Well, whatever that saying is for basketball.
Defense. They don't have the concept of defense.
They don't have the
60 points
concept
in the
of
first
anything.
half.
Yeah. No. And when Doug, the thug, is not on, we're screwed.
Arkansas beats Texas Tech in a thriller. They pulled away towards the end, but this is a very exciting basketball game, back and forth most of the second half. Big win for the Hogs on a neutral site.
Did y'all see the fights at the end of that game?
There were fights?
Did not catch
Yeah.
it.
What?
There was two fights. Yeah, they had one on court, and then they had one going into the tunnel, too.
Oh, that's awesome. I will say, like, Arkansas obviously looked, I thought, very good, but Texas Tech has absolutely no depth, and that is going to hurt them in the long run. When two of your guys combine for 60 of your points, I mean, that's obviously great, but that means no one else can score.
Yeah.
So, and Toppin's a walking machine. Toppin walks, I think, every time down the floor, and it was honestly getting very aggravating watching that. So,
yeah, fair enough. Nebraska beat Illinois on a buzzer beater, 1-3. Shout out Luke. He was right. I think these are two very quality Big Ten teams.
Yeah, no, I mean, I put $5 on it, 135. And shout out, I think it was Peyton Sanford for Nebraska, had like 20 of their first 20 points.
Wow.
Like, he scored 20 straight. He went on a 20-0 run by himself.
Bama had Arizona on the ropes. And then they didn't, because Arizona blew them out, won by 20 plus. All of us were on the Cats. And Gonzaga covers by the
I
hook
know, it's
against
electric.
UCLA. 1-10. Huge win for the Zags. UCLA losing yet again. Our leaderboard. The man whose uncle is a college basketball coach is slowly but surely climbing the ranks of our picks leaderboard. Michael in first with still a ridiculous, astounding record of 35-8. Yeah, trail Michael if you want to win. Chase 16-6 though. 72% clip is very good. Luke slightly below him at a 67% clip is 29-13, and then yeah boy,
Sorry.
26-16.
6 what?
6-7. Yeah, you had to do it. Our top 25 for Swiss Army Sports College basketball poll are Arizona will be our first overall team. Their first week at number 1
Yeah.
moves Michigan down to 2.
I jumped them because of what they did to Bama. I was like, you can't. Their resume is just way too good for them not to be one.
Yeah, Arizona has easily the best resume in college basketball, without a doubt. It's not even close anymore.
Zona is under these top 4 teams, in my opinion, are on a different level right now. Michigan
Head and
2,
shoulders above the rest of the field. I think these top 4 teams could all be March Madness Final Four teams at the end of the year.
Yeah.
They're that
I
good.
hardly agree.
The only thing I think
Duke scares me a little bit.
the only thing Arizona always blows it down the stretch.
They do.
Just always do it. So that would be the only thing that worries me. And then if Iowa State goes cold in one game, their defense won't be able to.
Yeah, they showed Iowa State at 4. They showed they were vulnerable against Iowa. I don't think any of these teams are undefeatable.
No, yeah.
But they definitely are playing ahead of everybody else right now. Chase, you want to say something?
I mean, I agree about Iowa State. I think, I was a good basketball team though. The Duke take, well, I wouldn't be as worried as people say. Duke has one of the best freshmen in the country, and that is a good team around him. And they've got one of the best coaches in college basketball, John Shire, who has really won pretty much everything since Coach K has taken over. So I wouldn't really be too worried about Duke. I think these 4 teams are really good, and I think UConn, U of H, Gonzaga, even Vandy, they're all really quality teams too. I think there's a lot of parity though this season. Like I think most teams in this top 25 could potentially make a deep run in March Madness.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, 5 we have UConn, 6 University of Houston, 7 Gonzaga, 8 Purdue, 9 Vanderbilt, 10 Michigan State. I am so close to putting a future bet on Vanderbilt making the Final Four. So close. This team scores at an insane rate. These dudes can shoot. They have dudes, which if Romo loves dudes, so he's got to love Vandy. Michigan State also a team that's really surprised me so far earlier in the season.
Drop something on Vandy real quick.
Sure.
So one of Vandy's best players, Duke Miles, guess where he went to school at he's been to 4 colleges. Guess what his first stop was?
Houston Christian.
No.
Troy.
I'm surprised you don't know this. Troy. He's a Troy boy. So he went from Troy to, I think it was like one of the Ivy schools to Oklahoma, and now to Vandy. So
wow. That's
Scott Cross just finds talent. He knows how to find talent.
Shout out to Troy for getting him ready for that Ivy League school, man.
Yeah. I mean, comparable in academics. 11 Louisville, dominant win against the Tigers of Memphis. 12
We
BYU.
didn't have to mention that again.
13 North Carolina. 14 is the undefeated Cornhuskers of Nebraska.
That's so weird. That is so weird.
Have jumped from receiving votes to 14. 15 Alabama, 16 Arkansas, 17 Kansas, dropping all the way to 18 is Illinois. Georgia stays at 19. Virginia gets a pop up to 20. Tennessee down to 21. Tech down to 22. Iowa to 23. From receiving votes to N at 24 is USC, and from RV to N as well as 25, Seton Hall are 2 teams with receiving votes. 2 points for the Florida Gators, and I do not know how, but 1 point for the Auburn Tigers.
I don't know how either of these 10 votes. I mean, Florida, I can get more of Florida because they have.
They're 13 in the Ken Palm. I had them at 24.
They just have not looked good with the guard play. That's the only thing. Their guard play has been so bad this year, and they've lost 4 times. Granted, top teams outside of TCU. You lost TCU. That is the main reason they're not mine. But
fair enough.
Yeah. Wait. Okay.
Go ahead.
Side note. How long until Bruce Pearl's kid gets fired?
Oh, a year.
What do you think, Chase?
I actually kind of have a different take. I know they've been shocking this year, but they still are fringe top 25 teams, fringe top 25 team, and the Pearl name in Auburn does have a lot of weight. And Auburn, I don't know if you remember prior to Bruce Pearl, they
It's
weren't
terrible.
that good. So, I mean, I think he probably will get the signature 3 years if it's still trending in the wrong direction. In 3 years they'll move on, but I think he gets 3 years.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was leaning for because granted, you have all Bruce's players, but I mean, if they keep losing, they will fire him. Just strictly based off what Bruce took that program to, they now think they're that type of program, so they will go try and find somebody.
No, 100%. Um, here, escape. Bingo. All right. There were some big trades that happened in the NHL this weekend. Let's start off with the smallest of these. Spencer Stastny, who's been a fringe starter on the D core for the Nashville Predators, have been traded to the Edmonton Oilers to supplement the Oilers giving up some to the Penguins in this next trade. They acquired a 2027 third, which, if you know anything about hockey, anything past the top 2 rounds gets dealt without pretty much any pain.
How many rounds are in the draft?
I think there are, don't quote me on this, like 8.
I'll look it up. Keep talking.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, unless it's a first round or second round, first round picks are weighted very heavily. Most of your future, star players would be in the first round, 7, excuse me. So like the NFL. But yeah, third round pick doesn't hurt me too much. Then this is kind of the blockbuster trade if you're an Oilers fan. You've had a problem with Stuart Skinner, Edmonton native in goal for the last 3 years. He is finally dealt. He is given to the Penguins along with a very solid defenseman, Brett Kulak, and a 2029 second. We get Samuel Poulin and Tristan Jarry, who ended up getting a win in his first start for the Oilers on Saturday against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Samuel Poulin is a fringe NHL guy. I mean, he would be a bottom 6, mostly, top 6 AHL guy right now. Could develop into something, could be like a depth piece later on in the year. I do like the move with Spencer Stastny. I think he could end up being a bottom, 6 D man that actually works his way into the rotation on the main roster for the Oilers. So overall, I give this trade a grade of C+. You needed to make a change at goalie, but I don't necessarily like, as being an Oilers fan, what we gave away in terms of Brett Kulak for it. But I do like being supplemented with Samuel Poulin and Spencer Stastny, especially when you got Stastny only for a 2027 third. The big change in the NHL is between the Minnesota Wild and the Vancouver Canucks. This was a blockbuster trade. Quinn Hughes has been pretty unhappy in Vancouver for at least the past few years. A lot of locker room drama between him, Elias Pettersson, and a couple of other players. They had already moved on from one of those players. They kind of already rebuilding around Quinn Hughes, and all of a sudden, bang, it's over. They deal him. He is now with the Minnesota Wild, which I know he wanted to go to the United States. He did. Quinn Hughes is American. He wanted to be traded to an American team. Vancouver, though, I think actually won this trade. You had a disgruntled demon, granted, one of the best in the NHL, but you got 3 very exciting young players from this deal. Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, and Zeev Buium all play minutes for the Minnesota Wild. These are not AHL guys. These are 3 good depth pieces for the Vancouver Canucks to start to begin their rebuild. I mean, they are obviously in full rebuild mode. Bottom of the standings in the Pacific, basically in the West. You knew you had to make something happen. And what I love most about this, it's a good draft class coming up next year in the NHL. They get the Wild's first pick. So they're going to have 2 first-round picks next year in a very healthy class. I think this is a B-plus move for the Wild. Yeah, you got Quinn Hughes, but you gave up a lot, but you're kind of in win-now mentality if you're Minnesota. And I think it's an A-plus for the Vancouver Canucks to really just begin this rebuild for Vancouver, getting 3 healthy, young, good players along with a 2026 first. Chase, you got anything to add to these trades?
I agree with you. I think it probably works out well for both of these teams in terms of the Quinn Hughes trade. Obviously, Minnesota is going to get a really good defenseman, a captain, a leader, and a a proud American, And then I think the Canucks did exactly what you should do if you're a struggling franchise, retool and rebuild. And then I'm a little bit more positive on the Oilers trade. I know they gave up a lot, but I mean, the Oilers are in win now mode, and if we look at the Oilers this season, what's their biggest issue? It's been the keeper. So, anytime you can figure out a way to get a better goaltender in there, that's what you need to do. So, I like the fact that instead of just sitting on it and riding it out through the playoffs, they actually went out and tried to get somebody and tried to get something done.
No, 100%. I do agree. Some people of Oiler Nation will disagree that this is an upgrade. I think it is wholeheartedly an upgrade from Stuart Skinner to Tristan Jarry. I do think these people are just trying to be pessimistic about anything because we didn't go get like a top name guy like Sergei Bobrovsky or UC Saros. But Tristan Jarry has been solid for the Penguins. Yeah, he's had some playoff woes, but I mean he was already at like a .910 save percentage, which is saving roughly 20 more shots out of 100 shots than 20 more out of 1,000 shots, which I mean could easily span over like 10 games than Stuart Skinner. And I mean, you had to have a change. And I think this is a much needed change for the Edmonton Oilers. And yeah, I don't like exactly what we gave up, but we didn't have to pay too big of a price to get it. So you never know. Trade deadline, not far or it's decently in the future. Could end up dealing Cal Pickard for maybe a better 1B or maybe, someone else compete with Jari for the starting spot. But I agree with you, Chase. I should have been a little bit more optimistic for the Oil there in terms of that trade. Speaking of the Oilers, we have our NHL weekend recap. Saturday was a full slate of games. The Oilers and Tristan Jarry's first start got a big win on the road against the Toronto Maple Leafs 6-3. The Rangers, in unbelievable fashion, came back and beat the Canadiens in overtime 5-4. They were down 3-0 in the first period of this game. The Avalanche took care of business against the Nashville Predators 4-2. The Devils, big win against the Anaheim Ducks 4-1 at home. The Wild beat the Sens 3-2. This is another insane game. The Pittsburgh Penguins were up 4-1 heading into the third period. Score first in the third period, and then the San Jose Sharks rattle off 4 goals in 10 minutes to send this game to overtime and then score the game winner. No, Stuart Skinner did not play in this game, but the effect of him being on the team is already taking effect as you gave up 5 goals in the third period and overtime. Absolutely unacceptable for Pittsburgh. San Jose really getting the offense figured out. The Islanders get a shootout win at home against the Lightning as they continue to look pretty good and hot. The Hurricanes go on the road and beat the Flyers 4-3. Good win for the Canes. The Golden Knights keep rolling on the road against the Blue Jackets 3-2. The Jets get a much-needed home victory against the Washington Capitals 5-1. The Red Wings got a big win against a decently hot team in the Blackhawks 4-0 on the road. The Panthers, in my actual stunner of the weekend, blank the Dallas Stars 4-0 on the road. Chase, your Stars just did not show up on Saturday at all.
No, they didn't. That was a shocking result considering how both teams have been playing this year. So, especially with how good Dallas is on the offensive end, I just didn't expect us to get blanked 4-0. So, definitely agree that was the most shocking result, at least for me this weekend.
100%. And then the Flames get an overtime win on the road against the Kings. My Oilers then had a back end of the back-to-back playing against a very prolific offense in Montreal, lost 4-1. Montreal was just due for a win. I think we were just on the wrong side of that back-to-back. The Canucks, you make a trade, then you go out and win a road game against the New Jersey Devils. Big win for Vancouver. The Mammoth win in overtime to keep the Penguins slide going 5-4. Canes beat the Flyers 3-2. Wild beat the hell out of the Bruins 6-2. And then the Sabres get a big road win against the Kraken, completing our NHL weekend recap. So, what are the best things
Hold
that
on,
happened this
before we
weekend?
move on, I
No,
want to
go
break
ahead.
some news to y'all. So, what I just was scrolling on Twitter, and apparently they figured out the reason Trayvon Diggs is not playing.
Go
So
ahead.
apparently Trayvon Diggs has gotten Marshawn Nealon's ex-fiance pregnant, and that's caused a massive rift in the locker room with Cowboys players and everything like that. And that's what's going around on social media right now.
Doesn't he have a kid? Like, and
Yes, he does have a kid.
a girlfriend. I don't know if I
I'm not
doubt they're
sure,
married.
Also breaking
this,
news.
yeah, it's crazy.
Brendan Sorsby's girlfriend commits to transfer to Texas Tech.
Ah, okay. So we know where he's going.
He is a
Break the
Red Raider
news.
quarterback.
Brendan Sorsby has officially transferred to Texas Tech because he knows he's going to follow that booty.
Okay, also, did y'all see the Illinois guy this weekend?
No.
Got deported back to Serbia. That's why
Deported! We have our first deported of the season.
So yeah, they asked Brad Underwood about something about it in the press, so he goes, he was in Serbia. So apparently the dude got deported.
Insane. And then John Cena is a bitch and tapped out to
That was
Gunther
kind of expected.
to end his. Yeah, it was.
That's a
like
terrible ending. That's
I
a
know,
terrible
but
ending.
he was gonna lose. Like if you look at the history, every guy's retirement match they lose because if they would have won, you could keep going. So I just can't believe he tapped. I thought he would get pinned, but at least like he had it to where he's smiling. He knows it's over to where it's not like he just got absolutely murdered.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
This thing's happened this weekend. My first is the Christmas Carol. Yearly, my entire, me and my extended family go to a play and then go eat dinner at Pete and Sam's Italian restaurant here in Memphis. It is a very just enjoyable evening. Lots of alcohol was involved. So enjoyed the Christmas Carol. Friday golf, me and Charlie Harrell, who plays for the University of Memphis, had a golf match against my brother and Corey. We ended up losing, but it was just very fun. Charlie contributed absolutely nothing to the team. It was basically a 1v1 scramble between me and Michael.
Corey said.
And we almost came out on top. And when I needed Chuck to hit a shot, sometimes he just didn't hit that shot.
The ankle is messed up. So
That's what I said. I go, you have an excuse. That's fine. However, he was pissed me off when we were playing football, college football in the video game. And they go, I just want you to know, you sucked at golf today. I carried your ass. And I didn't mention it the entire time, but I'm mentioning it now. And he goes, okay, fair enough. Yeah. And then cold weather actually paid off. I didn't have work today, which is rare for a Monday. I'm the only one at this table that can speak for this. But it was so cold here in the city of Memphis, they actually had to close the golf course. So, yeah, no work on Monday. Pretty electric. I'm pretty sure I have to go in tomorrow, though, which sucks. Luke, best things happened this weekend.
Just kind of speak off Will's thing. We got to work. It was, I think, 13 or 14 degrees this morning, and that's not wind chill. So we were shaking in our boots, literally.
It was a warm 38 here.
Yeah, it was cold. But anyways, my best things from the weekend, gambling. I took a Nebraska money line. Yeah, that was really about it. I had Gonzaga. I had Arkansas.
I've been killing it on the dart lays.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hit a bunch of basketball picks this weekend. And then we started a Minecraft server, which I've been trying to
That was fun, yeah.
get started for the past week. So I've been playing Minecraft, which who doesn't love Minecraft? And then crash outs. I had some legendary crash outs this weekend involving from Indiana losing the basketball game. That was amazing. I crashed out at our family reunion because Trevor Lawrence dropped 73 fantasy points, and my brother kept reminding me he had 73 fantasy points. And I got in a lot of trouble because I might have called him some very bad words. There's one other thing. Oh, in our car, the seat wouldn't close, so Robo just decided to start ramming it in the back of my knees, and I was kind of crashing out there. It was a great weekend of crash outs.
Chase, what happened?
Well, finals are done. The semester's over. It's the best time of the year now, Christmas.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you still enrolled at Troy University?
I am, yeah. Just
Let's
online.
go.
So,
yeah.
So I'm almost done. I got one semester left, so
let's go, Chase.
Almost there, yeah.
Degree.
And then I don't know if y'all watched it yesterday on ESPN too, but Troy's men's basketball team played UAB and got the win on a buzzer beater, which was pretty awesome considering that, we'd lost a lot of close games this season that we probably shouldn't have lost. So that was a really big thing and probably the only good thing from this weekend. So all my teams are pretty much cooked. Cowboys aren't going to make the playoffs. Manchester United dropped more points today drew with Bournemouth 4-4. Padres lost their, I mean, not their best one, but one of their star guys in their rotation, Dylan Cease, and our closer, who's been one of the best closers in the MLB, Robert Suarez.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Texas not being in the playoff, it's just been a rough couple of sports weeks for me and my teams. And then my fantasy team is about to get knocked out the playoffs. So it's been a rough couple weeks.
I had a generational fantasy run yesterday. I'm pretty sure I was in the first round of all my playoffs. I think I may have lost every single one.
This was the first time I've been in the playoffs in 3 years in this league, and I got absolutely raped.
Yeah, no, it was unconsensual.
And like, I'm not trying to brag. I think I had one of the best teams in the league.
No, he did. Statistically, Luke had the best team.
I outscored everybody by 300 points.
I think I had the third, and Chuck had the second, and Chuck's the only one that moved on. Well, that concludes episode 30 of Swiss Army Sports. Until Wednesday, when we come back at you with some more bowl picks, more college basketball talk, break down the first round of the World Darts Championship, which is only halfway through like 5 days. So it's electric on the darts end, 8 games a day. Shout out Stephen Whitlock. If you know, you know. He almost came back and won. And a dude punched the table on the stage because he had held his hand over the fireworks so they wouldn't go off. You got to look it up. Cameron Menzies had an unbelievable crash out of the dart stage today. Had to issue a public apology if you know how that's how bad it got.
Chat GTP.
I don't know. It could be Pavia.
Pavia.
Yeah, a little homage Pavia. And Fernando Mendoza was our Heisman. We got to mention that. We're a sports podcast.
Yeah. I forgot about that. I'm not gonna lie.
But
well, to be fair, this has been the most disappointing Heisman in a while. So